My almost sister-in-law, Scarlett, had the audacity to throw her weight around before even stepping foot into our family. She burst into my home without a hint of shame and snatched the brand new laptop my brother, Leo, had given me. It was a gift for my 18th birthday, the latest Huawei model, and Leo had picked out my favorite pink color. This laptop wasn't cheap. As she held it, my heart pounded with unease. "What are you doing?" I asked, my voice trembling. She completely ignored me, even pushing me aside. "I'll hold on to this for you. You need to learn to be a bit more independent. Don't let your brother buy you every single thing." Scarlett's scrutinizing gaze made me incredibly uncomfortable. "This is a gift from my brother," I retorted, bristling. "If you like it, I'll tell him to get you a different one another time." Seeing that she clearly didn't respect me at all, I dropped any pretense of politeness. "Is there anything my brother hasn't bought for you? Why do you need to take my things?" "Is that right? Your brother buys you things, and you just accept them without a thought. You're going to marry out someday. Don't think you can keep relying on your maiden family forever." I couldn't believe such words were coming from someone renowned for her gentleness and virtue. "You and Leo aren't even married yet, and you're already managing his money," I scoffed. She sneered, a triumphant smile playing on her lips. "Marrying your brother is just a matter of time. He and I are family. You're not. You're just a cup of water poured out." "I only call you sister-in-law out of respect. Are you implying all of my brother's money belongs to you?" She nodded without a clear answer, but her arrogant gaze said it all. She genuinely believed it. Seeing my silence, Scarlett didn't linger. She walked straight out, laptop in hand. I was so furious my teeth ground together. Was she messing with me? She hadn't even entered our house officially, and she was already throwing her weight around. I had never endured such humiliation in all my years. The more I thought about this unmarried sister-in-law trying to assert dominance over me, the angrier I became. Fortunately, our house has surveillance cameras. I quickly extracted the video clip showing Leo's girlfriend acting so arrogantly and sent it directly to the family group chat. With me around, she wouldn't dare dream of marrying my brother. Not long after, the family group chat exploded. Leo immediately called me. "Serena, I'm so sorry you had to go through that. I never expected Scarlett to be like that, to dare do such a thing to you. Wait and see, I'm breaking up with her immediately to get justice for you." As soon as I hung up, I received a notification. Leo had transferred 50,000 yuan to me, with the note, "Cure-all medicine." My mother had told Leo to add his future sister-in-law to the family group. In the group, it wasn't just my parents, but also my aunts, uncles, and cousins. Leo's girlfriend initially joined happily, expecting to receive welcoming red envelopes from the elders. She even sent a polite sticker. My mother simply responded with a few dots in the chat. My father couldn't stand it any longer and was the first to unleash a torrent of scolding. Then my aunts, uncles, and cousins joined in, tearing Scarlett apart. Scarlett dared not say a word. Looking at the group chat, filled with over 99 messages, I could imagine her face turning green, then red, as she stared at the screen. "Serves her right?" Leo privately messaged me, asking if I had calmed down. I sent back an sticker. The next second, he kicked her out of the group. It was her own fault for provoking me. I was the youngest in the family, spoiled by everyone since childhood, and had never suffered any injustice. I thought everything was over, but suddenly I received a friend request. It was Scarlett. Soon after, she sent another message. "Serena, I'm so sorry, I was impulsive. Can we be friends?" I ignored her, but she kept clinging on, refusing to let go. My family's circumstances were quite comfortable. We owned 8 houses, and Leo was the owner of a small business, making a substantial income. Frankly, my family wasn't short on money to buy that laptop. Leo's girlfriend, Scarlett, came from a poor rural area. She started as his secretary, then flirted her way into a relationship. Though my parents and I worried she was a gold digger, as long as Leo liked her, our family didn't object. So when they fell in love, my family didn't interfere. Her family upheld a strong preference for sons over daughters, viewing girls merely as tools to exchange for a dowry for their sons. During the engagement talks, she demanded that my family buy a house for her younger brother. My family agreed, solely because Leo liked her. She always appeared docile and understanding in front of everyone, and she treated me very well. But I never expected her true nature to emerge after the engagement. After that scolding incident, my family, wanting to comfort me, kept transferring money to me, allowing me to experience the joy of earning 500,000 yuan in one night. Leo also broke up with her and, at the same time, fired her from the company. But it seemed she wouldn't give up. Friend request notifications kept popping up, annoying me to no end. Finally, I blocked her. To my surprise, the next day she showed up at my house, laptop in hand. The moment she saw me open the door, her expression instantly changed, forcing an ingratiating smile. "Serena, I'm so sorry. I'm returning this laptop to you. Please keep it safe. From now on, whatever you like, I'll get it for you." Scarlett handed the laptop back to me with both hands. I felt a pang of discomfort. The moment she tore off her mask in front of me, the image of a gentle and understanding woman she had pretended to be all this time had completely shattered. Now, wearing that mask again was useless. I absolutely refused to save her any face. This isn't about whether I like it or not. This laptop was always mine. Right, she nodded repeatedly, afraid of my anger. As I took the laptop from her hands, I coincidentally noticed a bruise on her arm. Someone had hit her. Who? The moment she handed over the laptop, she took another step into my house. I was speechless, about to kick her out, but suddenly she knelt right at the doorstep. Scarlett clung tightly to my pant leg. I frowned. "What are you doing? Get up." Scarlett kept her head down, refusing to let go. "Serena, I beg you, I know your brother loves you. He and I genuinely love each other. If you just agree to let us be together, everything will surely be fine again." Her voice was choked with helplessness. "Besides, Leo and I are already engaged. Isn't it really bad to cancel now?" Scarlett tried to use the engagement as leverage, but my family had never taken that seriously. Seeing my lack of reaction, she continued to plead. "Please, Serena, if you don't agree, I won't get up." I looked down and saw her eyes glistening with tears, coupled with the hidden injuries on her body. A touch of pity welled up in me. "Just get up first." "Serena, you agree, right?" Scarlett's presumptuous attitude instantly made my pity vanish. Even the pitiful can be infuriating. "No, get out. Our Lamb family will never accept a daughter-in-law like you." I spoke firmly, not caring about her pleas. I said nothing more, simply pushed her straight out. "If you insist on being stubborn, I'll call security to drag you out." Slam, I shut the door. Outside the door, Scarlett began to curse loudly. Seeing her furious, almost insane demeanor, I truly felt satisfied. Standing at the door, I deliberately spoke a little louder so she could hear me from outside. "Perhaps you didn't expect this at first, did you? Our family doesn't just have the amount of money you think we do. All combined, it's several hundred million yuan. Because of a laptop worth only a few tens of thousands, you've permanently lost your chance to ever step foot into my house again." Outside the door, silence suddenly fell, followed by frantic knocking. I leaned against the door and calmly said, "Scarlett, give up. Your schemes have utterly failed. My family will never accept someone like you into our home." Suddenly, the knocking stopped. Someone who only knows how to spend money, what right do they have to act so high and mighty? Spending money? I didn't know who she was referring to. After a few minutes, when I heard no more noise, I looked through the peephole and saw Scarlett had left. I suddenly regretted saying too much about my family's assets to Scarlett. If she left so easily, she must be targeting someone else now. "Leo," I quickly called him. "Leo, did Scarlett come looking for you?" The other end of the line fell silent. What had happened? My anxiety grew. Not long after, I heard Leo sigh. "Serena, I have something to handle here." I faintly heard a woman's voice, but then the call was cut. I quickly packed my things and rushed to Leo's company. Pushing the door open, I saw Scarlett holding a knife in her hand. "Leo, I've been so sincere with you, yet now you're abandoning me for a mere laptop." Scarlett's voice was almost tearing through her guts. Her hair was disheveled and her makeup was smudged. Leo stood beside her, a little flustered. It must have been difficult for him. Leo had always been engrossed in his work, and Scarlett was his first love. But he was naturally a career-focused person, so he didn't pay too much attention to romantic matters. That's why when his secretary, Scarlett, confessed her feelings, he thought, "It's all right," and accepted her. But even then, Leo had never let her suffer any disadvantage. Initially, this office romance caused some gossip within the company, but Leo clarified everything, ensuring everyone recognized Scarlett's position. He had given her everything she needed. I was fed up on my brother's behalf. I took a step forward, directly in front of Scarlett. She immediately looked wary, raising the knife. "It's not about the laptop, but about your attitude towards me." I stood a safe distance from Scarlett. "My brother and I are blood relatives. What about you and him? Are you relying solely on seducing him at work?" "I didn't. Your brother took my first time." She grew more and more agitated. Leo signaled for me to stop talking, but with someone like her, should I really just ignore it? "You're holding a knife, threatening my brother's life. Is this what you call love? Tell me, how much money do I need to give you for you to let him go?" As soon as I finished speaking, Scarlett's hand visibly loosened a bit. Just as I thought. From beginning to end, all she cared about was how much money she could get. At that moment, I quickly snatched the knife from her hand. In the chaos, the blade cut into my palm, and fresh blood immediately gushed out. Perhaps even Scarlett hadn't expected me to act so directly. Just when I thought everything was about to end, a security guard suddenly rushed in, whispering something into Leo's ear. Both their faces turned extremely grim. Leo immediately signaled the security guard to restrain Scarlett, then rushed to my side, staring at my bleeding palm. "It was so dangerous, yet you dared to rush in and grab the knife. Have you forgotten? You were always afraid I'd get bullied, and you were too busy to protect me, so you sent me to learn some moves from a master. Isn't this the perfect time to put them to use?" My hand hurt a lot, but I didn't want to worry my brother. He looked a bit stunned, then squeezed my hand tightly. "What's wrong, Leo?" "Sir Rena, go bandage your hand. I have to go downstairs for a moment." He walked away hastily. It seemed something troublesome was happening at the company. As soon as Leo left, our family doctor arrived with a first aid kit. He thoroughly disinfected and bandaged my wound, inside and out. I glanced at Scarlett, who was sitting in a corner of the room, her hair disheveled, heavy makeup unable to hide the pallor of her face. I didn't linger long, immediately running downstairs to find Leo. "Let me see what kind of company this is that dares to abandon my daughter." The sharp voice of a middle-aged woman almost echoed throughout the entire building. Everyone who heard it bowed their heads, pretending not to hear, but God knew what they were thinking. After all, a former girlfriend had just caused a scene, threatening her life, and now another middle-aged woman was loudly scolding. I looked at the middle-aged woman with a face full of wrinkles, but her sharp eyes and thin, talkative lips seemed familiar. I had met her before at the engagement ceremony. It was Scarlett's mother, Mrs. Zhao. Beside her was a young man, around 20 years old, tall and thin, with an acne-covered face and thick-rimmed glasses that looked heavy. His long bangs almost covered his eyes. This must be Scarlett's younger brother, Ethan. I had heard Leo say that Ethan was not academically inclined and started working early, but he didn't earn much, was addicted to online games, and his relationships always ended in failure, unable to find a wife. Seeing their pitiful situation, Leo had agreed to buy Ethan a house during the engagement ceremony. Now that Leo and Scarlett had broken up, that house would definitely be reclaimed. This must be why they came to the company to cause a scene. "I want everyone in this company to see clearly what kind of beast your boss is to toy with my daughter. Let's see if your company can still do business." Mrs. Zhao's words grew increasingly harsh. Even with several security guards blocking her from entering the main building, she twisted one guard's arm, cursing them for not respecting elders. Leo stepped forward, his face looking far from good. He rubbed his temples. "Auntie, Scarlett and I are over. If there's anything, you can discuss it privately with me. It's crowded here, and blowing things up will make it difficult for both sides." After all, Leo was the CEO of the company. How could he allow his former mother-in-law to cause such a ruckus here? Hearing this, Mrs. Zhao let out a cold laugh, spitting towards Leo. "You despicable ape, I want everyone to see clearly what kind of person your sister truly is." My anger immediately flared. I rushed forward, standing directly in front of her. "Auntie, is this about money or the house this time? Your daughter was just causing a scene upstairs. Look, the wound on my hand was caused by her. Are you going to pay for my medical expenses?" When dealing with people like this, one absolutely cannot be lenient. I was increasingly convinced that those who aren't family shouldn't become family. Truly, like mother, like daughter. Scarlett's mother saw the bandage on my hand, and her expression immediately changed. My private doctor always liked to exaggerate when bandaging my wounds, wrapping them thickly from inside out, making the injury on my hand look very severe. But this bandaging method certainly made Scarlett's mother's face turn pale. "What nonsense are you talking about? Our Scarlett is so well behaved, how could she scratch your hand?" She didn't admit it, but I have many ways. She even dared to steal my laptop before, so how could she not scratch my hand? Or should I call her down here now and check for her fingerprints on the weapon to show you clearly? Scarlett's mother's face stiffened. She couldn't maintain her composure. Every time she tried to speak, I cut her off. "Auntie, like mother, like daughter, don't you understand this logic?" Leo looked at the security guards, signaling them. Not long after, Scarlett walked down under everyone's gaze. Her eyes were blank and lifeless, as if she had just cried. Her hair was damp with sweat, and her entire body looked incredibly worn out. When she saw her mother, Scarlett's eyes flickered with avoidance and her steps faltered. She looked anxiously towards Leo, but Leo no longer wanted to pay attention to her, deliberately turning his face away as if he hadn't seen Scarlett. Biting her lip, she stepped forward and called out, "Mother." As soon as the word left her lips, a loud asterisk smack echoed. Scarlett's mother slapped her right in front of everyone in the company. A red mark clearly stood out on her face. Her hand was still trembling after the slap. Scarlett's eyes immediately reddened. "How much strength did you use? They don't want you anymore, they kicked you out and you still cling on? And you even scratched your sister-in-law's hand? I can't afford these medical expenses. Useless daughter, deal with it yourself." Scarlett's tears streamed down incessantly. She grabbed her mother's sleeve with both hands, her eyes full of pleading. "Mother, take me home." Her mother violently shook her hand off, then turned to grab the hand of her younger brother, who was still engrossed in his phone. "This is my son. Once your brother and I are kicked out of their house, you should start thinking about living on the streets." Scarlett's mother's finger pointed directly at her daughter's face without an ounce of restraint, her acrid words ringing in everyone's ears throughout the company. Suddenly, I understood. Perhaps much of Scarlett's personality was influenced by her mother. This concept of a useless daughter had been instilled in her since childhood by this mother who valued sons over daughters and withheld maternal love. I, on the other hand, had been cherished like a star in the universe since childhood, a world of difference. I glanced at Leo, wondering what he was thinking. Seeing Scarlett crying so miserably, her mother came up with another plan. Her eyes, full of schemes, looked towards Leo. "Or why don't you go beg him to see if he'll take you back?" This pitiful act was perfectly timed. Out of his family's upbringing, Leo had never inquired about Scarlett's past. But rethinking her mother's skilled public outbursts, perhaps Scarlett's past relationships weren't simple either. I feared Leo might soften. "Scarlett, if you have any self-respect left, don't cling to my brother anymore." I adopted the tone of someone in a superior position, deliberately putting pressure on Scarlett. Scarlett flinched slightly, saying nothing more. The atmosphere at the scene seemed to freeze. Everyone waited for Leo to speak. Scarlett's mother's actions were heartless. Clearly, making such a scene brought no benefit to the Lamb family or to Scarlett. In a situation where both sides would lose, she prioritized her own interests, disregarding her daughter's dignity. Leo's gaze was cold as he looked at Scarlett's mother. "Auntie, Scarlett and I are no longer related. I won't interfere in your family matters." But I thought, with such an elder, Scarlett must be very miserable. A glimmer of hope sparked in Scarlett's eyes. Even though Leo said they were no longer related, his words still contained a hint of concern for her. She must have thought he still liked her, or at least still harbored some old feelings. It seemed Leo noticed Scarlett's thoughts, so he deliberately grew colder. "Please escort our guests out." Clearly, Scarlett's mother began to panic. She had intended to secure Leo as a son-in-law, but causing such a ruckus made it difficult for Scarlett to get married in the future. She was sure Leo still had some feelings for Scarlett, but she hadn't expected him to be so resolute and merciless when it came to me. "If you insist on dragging this out, our Lamb family won't hesitate to take this to court. After all, the Lamb family is a reputable clan. It wouldn't be worth it to lower ourselves because of her stain." Hearing about a lawsuit, Mrs. Zhao's aggressive demeanor immediately weakened. In a city, everyone knew the Lamb family had an excellent team of lawyers. Leo himself had studied political law from university. By then, the situation would undoubtedly be much uglier than it was now. So she didn't linger any longer. She grabbed Scarlett and dragged her out of the company. On the way, Scarlett's phone fell. Seeing Leo standing there, seemingly lost in thought, I quickly picked up the phone to return it to Scarlett. It's always best for things to return to their rightful owner. But as I stepped out the door, I saw 3 familiar figures standing in the shade not far from the company. Useless daughter. Scarlett's mother grabbed a nearby branch and whipped it straight across her back. It was summer, and Scarlett's clothes were very thin. The rough branch whipping her back made me wince. I stood there, holding her phone, hesitating whether to go over. Mrs. Zhao hit her even harder, but other than the whack asterisk of the branch, there was no sound of crying or arguing. Scarlett was forced to suppress her cries, enduring her mother's blows and kicks without a single resistance. Even though Scarlett and I had our conflicts, her mother was hitting her so hard that I feared she might not die, but would surely be crippled. I couldn't stand it anymore. I rushed forward, standing between them. Scarlett's mother restrained herself a little when she saw me, but she didn't show me any warmth. "What are you doing here?" I returned the phone to Scarlett. Then I helped her up. She staggered a few steps, having to cling to a nearby pillar to steady herself. She took the phone without a word. Given the situation, it seemed she couldn't avoid another round of beatings and scolding. "Scarlett, remember to go to the hospital later to check your injuries. Otherwise, there might be lasting complications." I had good intentions, but the very next second, Scarlett let out a cold laugh and forcefully pushed me. "You saw everything, didn't you? We daughters are useless. What right do you have to be a good person and advise me? Aren't you just like that too?" She vented all her anger on me. "Scarlett, you and I are not alike." I looked at her, barely able to stand. Slowly, I continued, "Your beliefs and mine are different. My parents' beliefs and your parents' are also different." I glanced at the son standing beside her, his hand still glued to his phone. Finally, I couldn't hold back my thoughts and spoke bluntly. "Do you think your brother like this can bring honor to your family? Or are you relying on you, going around clinging to wealthy men?" As soon as the words left my lips, Scarlett's eyes widened, flashing with panic. Before, when she approached Leo, she claimed she had given him her first time, using that to gain his pity and guilt, then staying by his side. Initially, she spoke beautifully, saying she didn't wish for anything but to be with Leo. But later, she wanted to marry him. Leo wasn't an irresponsible person, so he immediately agreed. But even though he didn't inquire about Scarlett's past, how could the Lamb family, a prominent clan, lack such information? Our family had thoroughly investigated Scarlett's past from beginning to end. My parents were simple people who didn't believe a person's past should determine their future, so after telling Leo these things, they still respected his decision. It was just that, in the end, Scarlett still hadn't changed. From beginning to end, all she aimed for was money. Scarlett clenched her hands, as if holding something back. A few seconds later, she slowly spoke, her voice somewhat restrained. "How do you know?" My mother said a few words to Leo, then didn't dare to say more because she also knew. "Isn't that right?" Scarlett's lips trembled, her tongue even stiff. "So your brother, he knew everything too." Of course he knew. After all, they were almost married. But at this moment, I didn't know if it was better to speak or stay silent. "You're so beautiful, you could have had a very good life. Why are you saying such moralizing words? Now that you're not married yet, your family treats you like a treasure. Wait until you get married, and this won't be your home anymore." I had said so much, yet Scarlett still thought this way. I was at my wit's end. "Serena," from a distance someone called me. It was Leo. I looked at my watch. He had been gone for quite a while. He was wearing an expensive suit, radiating brilliance. Back in school, Leo was the campus heartthrob, chased by many girls, but he always focused on his studies, and at the company he was even more diligent. Looking back now, Leo and Scarlett were completely mismatched. One was a darling of heaven, the other bound by outdated notions. Just like now, one was radiant, the other disheveled. Leo walked towards me, no trace of reproach in his eyes. "Why haven't you left yet? I'm leaving right now." Leo took my hand and turned to leave. Suddenly, the person behind called out to him again. "Wait!" Leo paused but didn't immediately turn back. Reflecting, because of my incident, Leo had only broken up with Scarlett online. It was indeed a bit hasty. "Leo, you two talk. I'll go home and wait for you." Leo looked slightly surprised, then nodded. "Okay." I didn't go straight back to the company, but found a nearby spot to hide and listen to their conversation. Scarlett told her mother and brother to leave first, leaving only Leo and her. Leo took off his jacket and draped it over Scarlett's shoulders. Scarlett, moved, clutched the collar. Leo, thank you. No need to thank me. We were once acquainted after all. Because it involved my sister, I was a bit hot-headed. I apologize. Let's end things here. Serena is still waiting for me. Leo didn't want to linger, deliberately maintaining his distance from Scarlett. Leo! Scarlett let go of the jacket, rushing to embrace Leo. The jacket fell to the ground. Her petite figure created a stark contrast with Leo's physique. Leo didn't resist, nor did he lower his head. He just stood there silently, not even responding to Scarlett. Scarlett buried her head in Leo's chest. I'm sorry. I've apologized to Serena. I'll beg her for forgiveness. Please don't leave me. I truly love you. Leo raised his hand, signaling Scarlett to release him. He used the calmest tone to speak the most hurtful words. Scarlett, we're not compatible. Why not compatible, Leo? We were so good together before, both at work and in life. We were very harmonious. We were even close to getting married. Scarlett, already slender and delicate, now crying so miserably, looked even more pitiful. She sobbed, continuing, I only took Serena's laptop to save a little more money for our wedding. Weddings are expensive, right, Leo? I'll change whatever you don't like. I'll fix it. Leo couldn't listen anymore and cut her off. Scarlett, the problem isn't these things. So, it's because of my mother? I don't need a big house, and my mother, I'll talk to her clearly. Leo, I only like you. Clearly, Scarlett was starting to get desperate. Her eyes shifted from confident to confused, then lost. In the past, Leo loved her so much, even doted on her. Many times, even when she made mistakes, he never reprimanded her. But now, he had let go. No matter what she did, Leo would not change his decision. Leo, can you give me one more week? Let's try again for one more week. If it truly doesn't work, I'll let you go. I was a bit troubled by Leo's hesitation. Please, for old time's sake, I gave you my whole self and my heart. I beg you. Scarlett had humbled herself to the lowest point. These words, in Leo's ears, caused no ripple. He inherently disliked people who were so utterly lowly. Everything collapsed in an instant. I was wrong. Leo, the man I always trusted, agreed to give Scarlett one more week. She had caused so much trouble, yet he was still conceding. Was this still my brother? What about the future of the company and everything else? But then I told myself to let him decide for himself. A message arrived. He sent a brief text. Wait for me a moment, I'm taking Scarlett back first. The phone screen froze. I returned to the company, my heart heavy. Sitting in the office, I looked out the window, my anxiety growing. He told me to go home by myself. He had never abandoned me when I was in such turmoil. He walked in, holding a bag of roasted chestnuts, my favorite. Serena, I'm sorry. He peeled each chestnut for me. My heart melted. The sweet chestnuts dispelled my anger. I glanced at the clock, surprised. You're back so early? Have you two broken up? He gently tapped my finger. What are you thinking? Let's go home. I obediently followed him like a puppy. All the way home, he didn't mention Scarlett. I couldn't stand it and asked directly, Are you and she back together? He looked at me, surprised. I stammered, I overheard at the company. He coughed softly, not surprised. I had always been like this since childhood. How are the two of you? My face flushed. All right, if you don't want Mom and Dad to know yet, I'll keep it a secret. They just broke up and had conflicts with her family. Getting back together so quickly would be hard to explain. Serena, that 1 week was just for a complete farewell. Only later did I understand the meaning of that, complete farewell. During that week, Leo put aside most of his work at the company, spending time with Scarlett and me too. Initially, I didn't understand why I had to be a third wheel, but gradually, I understood. Throughout the journey, Leo talked about our family, about how he had raised me since childhood. It wasn't like dating, it was like building a complete family for Scarlett, but reality was cruel. Deeply ingrained habits and beliefs cannot be changed easily. Throughout that time, Scarlett continuously caused me trouble, deliberately tripping me, stealing my belongings, and even almost making me eat something that would cause stomach upset. Fortunately, each time Leo discovered it in time. Otherwise, my little life would have been in danger. Until the very last day. On the final day of the farewell week, Leo invited Scarlett and me to go hiking. He carried my backpack on one shoulder and Scarlett's on the other. How ironic. Scarlett looked at me many times, as if trying to find a way for me to leave, to create an opportunity to talk to Leo alone. All right, it's the last day. I'll indulge her. I told Leo I was tired and wanted to rest under a tree and would follow later. Leo understood but was still worried, telling me to stay put and not wander off. If anything happened, I should call him. He still treated me like a child, while Scarlett's face grew increasingly unpleasant. Leo didn't notice, continuing to chat for a long time before he and Scarlett climbed ahead. I watched their figures slowly disappear, my heart filled with indescribable emotions. Leo gave her a week to help her break free from traditional constraints, so she would no longer feel inferior and could integrate into our family, into this open-minded world. If Scarlett understood that, Leo might have gone back to her for old times' sake. But would Scarlett understand? I didn't know if deeply ingrained beliefs could be shaken in a short week. I sat there dejected, my mind in a turmoil, extremely annoyed. I found a tree root to sit on, counting ants to kill time. Suddenly, a shadow fell over me. "Serena, let's go home." It was Leo. I stood up, but my legs were stiff and numb, so I couldn't stand steadily. Leo supported me, lifting me as if carrying a child. Suddenly, a familiar female voice rang out from behind. "She'll get married sooner or later. Why are you still so good to her?" Those words pierced my heart like a knife. I realized that the past week had been all for naught. Even now, Scarlett still believed I would get married, that I was a useless commodity. At that moment, I didn't know who to feel heartbroken for. From Leo's shoulder, I saw Scarlett running towards us, her face streaked with tears, a look of utter despair. What had just happened, I understood. Scarlett looked into my eyes, there was a flicker of jealousy. In her eyes, I was still just a daughter who would marry out, a useless possession. Leo stopped, holding me tighter, and slowly spoke, his voice carrying helplessness but also firm resolve. "Serena is the treasure of our Lamb family. Whether she gets married or not, she will always be cherished by our entire family." His voice paused, then softened. "She and you should have been alike. It's just that Scarlett's family didn't think so. Now, even Scarlett herself can't think that way. Ideologies truly have too profound an influence on people. The week is over, Scarlett. I will give you a sum of money. Later, find a good person to marry." With that, Leo didn't look back and carried me down the mountain. I saw Scarlett standing still behind, her figure gradually fading into the distance. I told Leo to put me down. Seeing his tightly furrowed brows, my heart ached. In the face of deeply ingrained beliefs, money was useless, power was useless. He shook his head, saying nothing more. The die was cast. A generous sum of money was given to the Zhao family, exchanged for a complete severance with Scarlett. She was stripped of her secretarial position and assigned by Leo to work as a small employee in a mediocre company. Even her younger brother received a job with Leo's help. This arrangement seemed to conclude everything, but Scarlett's fate spiraled downwards uncontrollably. Rumors of a clandestine affair with a married man spread, marking her complete downfall. She was fired, humiliated, and had no place left in this bustling city. Her younger brother also lost his job due to his laziness and tardiness. Life became a dead end. Scarlett drifted between companies, working as a secretary, doing odd jobs, even using her looks for exchanges, becoming a third party, sacrificing her reputation to make a living. Her life was a series of miserable days, chased by the wives of her lovers, causing a ruckus even at her home. Finally, her mother forced her back to their hometown to marry a limping man. Thanks to his dowry and her mother's savings, her mother bought a house for her son. But due to his dissolute lifestyle, no one would marry him. Perhaps they themselves didn't understand that all of this was due to the deeply ingrained ideologies in their blood, which had led to such an outcome. The Lamb family ignored all that dark past. It was now just a family joke. Leo, the discerning man, found his peaceful haven. A year later, he married a beautiful, talented, and kind young heiress. She, my sister-in-law, treated me incredibly well. They were destined to be deeply in love and quickly became husband and wife. Even more joyfully, my sister-in-law is pregnant, eagerly hoping for a baby girl, a sweet and lovely little daughter, like a warm sweater. Leo and I are both eagerly awaiting the newest member of our family. Our family is about to welcome another new member.